I'll steady it.
Thank you again.
Yeah. Okay, great.
You're great.
All right.
I like how Mike asks Victor, what about you, if he got seen at the crime scene.
Yeah, Marie was right to slap Skylar in the Confessions episode. I love how when Phil is teaching his kids the power of a positive attitude, even though he hasn't sold a house all month, but because he remained positive, by the end he hits a bunch of lucky streaks.
I love the confrontation when Walt realizes that Gus is playing a deep game, pitting the cartel against the US government with his hit out on Hank. And it's a little surprising to me how Jesse isn't kind of more worried about whether Gus is just using him by season 4 with all the road trips that he's going on with Mike. It's surprising that Jesse might not catch on that Gus just may be using him when Walt is like, this whole thing, it's really about me. You can only assume that Jesse is trying to gain a little bit more independence, working a little bit away from Walt because he's questioning Walt's decisions by this point, how good of an impact he is on his life. The half shade of lighting in these shots are exactly like when Gus's face gets blown off.
So many fun things to think about, like what leads up to Mike deciding that Walt is a ticking time bomb. And by the way, that mall heist practice in Nippy, Better Call Saul, reminds me of the train heist in Breaking Bad. I love how the look that Jesse gives Todd right before he kills him is the same look that he gives to Hank during the RV interrogation, where he's like, how could you have known that the bullets were there before you took off the tape? He's like, guess what? That machine gun's not all, biatch. Get choked out. So yeah, how could Jesse not see that he was being manipulated by Gus? With Walt and Hank being on different sides, this show and Better Call Saul does a great job in making it believable that it's Gus versus the cartel, these two giant entities, and the exchange of information between both of them in both shows. You're able to suspend your disbelief. I like the way Walt's insane manic laugh in Crawl Space comes back the episode later when Jesse is confronting him about poisoning Brock. Because when these actors read the scripts, Bryan Cranston did not know that Walter poisoned Brock until he read the next episode's script. It really takes you on an emotional roller coaster when some episodes balance about 3 insane subplots. One where Gloria's giving birth, Manny has his first kiss, and Haley is dating someone double her age just to get a reaction out of her parents. All of this done with such funny dialogue. Gloria purposefully leaves out Manny's script for his short film for Jay to see so he can get involved. She's basically trying to balance Manny's artisticness with Jay's couch tomato sensibilities. It's hard to imagine Jay taking on a type of pretentious black and white experimental project. Yeah, Jay was right to tell Manny that his idea for his college essay video to take place in the 1800s is absolutely pretentious and privileged. Great when the show balances pretty out there topics, like when Alex realizes that her businesswoman inspiration is actually really superficial and money hungry, and so she realizes that working at a coffee shop is probably a more meaningful experience. I love how they reuse the "You're 40" line from the previous episode I reviewed. Characters like Phil really teach us not to limit ourselves with our interests when he brings the whole family together as winners with his phone booth trick. So many hilarious, amazing lines that I missed the first time around. Everybody stop, we're better than this. Phil is handing Cam a grate, and Cam is like, great. Phil is like, you're great. Like, they're planning the escape, but he's asking him to hand him the grate. Just great dialogue. They don't want the Pritchett's to think that they're smarter than them. Walt snitching on Jesse's plan to Gus to kill his random henchman, who killed Combo, kind of in their best interest. Also, you sympathize with Jesse trying to do the right thing. And then when Walt finds out that Tomas got killed, he was not going to apologize to Jesse at first, but then he sees the news, and in this silence, he knows that Jesse's going to kill them, and Walt agrees with Jesse at this point. Then at the dinner table, Skylar's telling Walt Jr. about how her and Walt are about to start a new business. And Jesse's no wuss, but Walt helped him kill those guys. Just an incredible sense of anti-redemption. Because season 4 is all about Walt trying to get Jesse on his side away from Gus's manipulation. Absolutely chilling. Gus's premonition in the season 4 finale is pretty believable not to go to his car because there's a bomb by Walt. I think back in the day, people have pointed out that it doesn't really make sense why Gus would poison the child, but did you just bring a bomb into a nursing home? I mean, it's no surprise since the season 3 finale, Gus was gonna try to kill Walter. So all this facing off and rash decisions to end people is what breaks the straw of the camel's back when Hank is investigating Gale, then Gus. And I also realized season 4 feels like it doesn't really have that many scenes of Walt and Jesse cooking in the super lab compared to season 3. I love how in the Fly episode, Jesse's asking Walt if he took some of their product because he's acting all whack. Small silent moments like this cannot be taken for granted, like in the Sunset episode when Hank is onto the RV, Walt's surprised face, and he's still in shock as he calls Jesse and doesn't say anything as he thinks that Jesse's phone could be tapped by Hank. I just love the way the beer and the soda separate Walt and Jesse on the table during this tense conversation about Jesse's discovery. This is no longer the dynamic of cooking meth in an RV, of joking about getting separate rooms and that's a given. It's gonna become like Jesse and Walt want to send each other to Belize. Jesse no longer is falling for Walt's manipulation. An episode like After the Fire does a great job presenting the interpersonal dynamics that shaped these characters like Claire and Mitch growing up, how they interacted with their parents. The joke about Mitchell's suit washing him out is so hilariously amazing. I love Cam's enthusiasm for putting on a great show or a great school game. Sometimes it's played that it's selfish for him, but it's mostly that he wants to present a good show. Like when Cam encourages Mitch to sing at the party, the scat music. And then Cam does not get to do his drum solo until Phil does his magic trick when Claire was discouraging of his magic pursuits. Remember how Alex was in a band? It would have been cool to see more of that. So both shows feel all encapsulating with their filming. Little moments like the Hello Carol scene when he's seeing his neighbor after all those months and she drops the oranges that was directed a specific way. Great details like that. And that suspense of Walt having to get the remote car control keys for the M60, just still so incredible. And yeah, Walt made sure to use the term partner wisely to get under Jack's ego, to make him see the teeth. Referring to Jesse as his partner that he would never partner with a rat, that was deliberately perfect choice of wording. The stereotypical Day episode where Phil is just randomly referring to Alex like a therapy dog. The plot is kind of reminiscent of the episode Felencio, where all 3 kids are trying to get something done their way, and the dad thinks it's best to do it his way instead of the mom's way. They're trying to ease up on the situation on how their mom would react. Some of Alex's lines are hilarious, like when Dylan says, "Me and Haley share the same brain," and she's like, "Who has it now?" When Dylan wants to tell the parents that he wants to tell them that they're pregnant in song, Alex is like, "Promise me you won't homeschool this kid." Really great, rewarding payoffs from rewatching both shows. I'm gonna give this episode a tie. Heck yes. Very, very entertaining stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out the season 1 playlist of TV fights on my channel. I'm Pratik Manakana.
And so the mouse says, I didn't say sneeze, I said cheese.
I'm gonna talk about so many episodes. Gonna be great, so don't be late. Not all these shows are so incredible. Some are lame, it's quite a shame. That girl, she's sipping too much wine. I hope that was good.